Yeah, it's the second matchup for the Heat and Thunder Thursday in Oklahoma City. Russell Westbrook played for the first time since injuring a knee in late December. LeBron James played until he left a bloody mess in the fourth quarter, but by then the Heat had already delivered the knockout blow to Oklahoma City. Remember, the Thunder made that great comeback to win without Russell Westbrook on January 29th in Miami. Heat started fast in that game and in this one, too. You got dueling MVP candidates and Westbrook back for the first time since Christmas. He was on a minute count. They're trying to bring him back slowly. It's Mom's birthday. Paid tribute on his shoes and first Heat possession. Do it for Mom. Westbrook 1 for 5 in the first quarter. That was the one. LeBron James had plenty in the first quarter, working on Kevin Durant. Got that. He'll get to the rim and finish there. James 8 for 10 in the first quarter. He just took over. I mean, the focus was there. He'll get the bucket and the foul on that one. And then Mario Chalmers gives it to him. Miami had assists on 10 of its 16 first quarter buckets, sharing the basketball, doing it well. James scored the first 12 points of the game for the Heat, the most consecutive points he scored to start a game in his career. He had 16 points in all in the first quarter. Turnovers a problem for the Thunder. Thabo Sefolosha stripped. Dwayne Wade gets the loose ball. Check out the fake he puts on Durant. He thinks he's going to set up Shane Battier for the triple. Thunder went Pepperidge Farm in the first quarter. Nothing but turnovers. 9 of them in the first quarter. Meanwhile, the Heat, 16 for 21 for 34 points in the first. That's 76%. We did the math. 0 for 4 from long range, though. But still, they established themselves in the first quarter. Kevin Durant struggled in the first half, did have one highlight. You know about the jumper. There's the thumper. Blows right by James. Durant, 9 points in the first half, shot 4 for 11. Took him a while to get started, though. Westbrook spent some time on the stationary bike before he returned in the second quarter. Then he took the training wheels off. So athletic and explosive. Knee looks okay. Fellow UCLA Bruin Kevin Love tweeted out, good to see Russ West back. Miss you on the court, bro. Westbrook 9 points in the second quarter. Thunder down 7 at the half. But then they had some problems with double teams in the third quarter. Miami executed so well defensively. Shane Battier, Chris Bosh, trapped Durant. Wade comes up with a steal. He gets it to James for the big finish. Miami had 15 steals in this game. Next Thunder possession, they get another one. James and Chalmers applying the pressure to Westbrook. And again, they applied it before the Thunder players were able to make a move to get out of it. And James with a big finish. He had 4 steals. The Heat up 15. A few plays later, they don't go with the double team this time. Wade playing the passing lane. He had 3 steals. The Heat up 19. Later in the third quarter, James sizing up Durant. Step back. Money. Just 1 for 5 on threes. Neither team very effective from beyond the arc, but the Heat had a 22-point lead. Fourth quarter, Miami by 14. Bosh to Wade. Look at this move. Fade away. Got it. They're just a different team when Wade's healthy. 24 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds. And then Serge Ibaka catches James across his face on the way up. James somehow able to finish, but as you can see, he's on the floor. And he's bleeding. Wouldn't return to the game, left with a towel over his face. But you see, there's a smack right across his face, but still, the strength and the presence of mind to be able to get there and finish the play. He had 33 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Didn't return to the game. Miami able to finish without him. They win at 103-81. They expect him to be okay. The Heat, much better than okay in this one. We told you about James. Wade's 24. Chris Bosh also at 24, so the big three, 81 points as Miami shoots 54%. Worst home loss of the season for Oklahoma City, and by a long shot. Their previous worst loss at home was by 6, and Miami just shut them down. 38% from the floor for OKC. In January, in that game where they beat the Heat in Miami, 16 for 27 on threes. In this game, 2 for 20. James in Miami, bloody but unbowed.
Unlike everybody else, you're used to seeing him like Superman and get up and sprint back, even after tough hits and tough falls. You know, so I knew something was up.
You know, you see blood, you know, you just hope that it's nothing, you know, overly serious. It was an unfortunate situation, you know, but, you know, he got a chance to get up, and he was talking to us, he's communicating with us, so, you know, that's good, and, you know, hopefully everything's all right.
It takes more than resolve. It takes extreme athleticism and strength. I mean, that was Serge Ibaka going up with him. He got hit in the face, and then he goes up and still finishes. You know, he's the best, biggest, strongest athlete in the league, and only he can do that.
So again, Miami's big three, 81 points. That's as many points as Oklahoma City's entire team. James, Wade, and Bosh combined to hit 2/3 of their shots. The 81 points, the most they've combined for this season. Now, for more on James, here's ESPN.com's Michael Wallace.
Sitting at his locker with his feet draped in ice, bandages on both knees, and plugs in his nose to stop the profuse bleeding, LeBron James certainly looked like a battered man after Thursday's win against Oklahoma City, but he wasn't a beaten man. The mood in the locker room was sort of quiet because LeBron did not talk to reporters after the game, but his teammates spoke up for him. Chris Bosh said he did not believe LeBron's nose was broken because otherwise he would have been in the emergency room getting it repaired. Dwayne Wade, who sat right next to LeBron James, said that he spoke to him and LeBron seemed in good spirits. So until they get back to Miami, LeBron's status is going to be up in the air going into Sunday's game against the Chicago Bulls.
All right, so now let's go next level. Durant's been amazing. Westbrook returned. Big three all show up. But a huge factor in this one, Shane Battier shut down Kevin Durant. Now, when he was guarded by Battier, Durant was just 1 for 9 from the field and had more turnovers, 4, than he had points with 3. Here's Durant now on Westbrook's return.
Very excited for him. He gets to play the game he loves again. And, you know, he looked really good out there. You know, I'm sure, you know, he's on, I think, a minute restriction. Just trying to fill the game out and get better as time goes along. And so, you know, we'll see. You know, we'll see next game. And, you know, he looks good today. So he works extremely hard. So, you know, we'll see some progress. But, you know, we just had a bad night, man. We just got to move past it and get better from it and, you know, get ready for the next one.
For more on Heat Thunder, Stephen A. Smith is in the house.
What's going on, man?
Steve, LeBron James said this wasn't a statement game. Then his team comes out and makes a statement. What impressed you most about what they said?
Well, first of all, it was a statement game on a multitude of levels. It was a statement game for the Miami Heat because of the way they played defense and the fact that the big three showed up. They were moving the basketball. They were crisp, even though they ended up with 19 turnovers. It was really them messing around because they pretty much blew out the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight. So it was the statement game on that level. And then when you look at LeBron James, knowing it's an MVP chase, hearing from people like myself and many others that KD is in front, Kevin Durant, and to come out and to score the first 12 points for the Miami Heat, to pretty much bombard the Oklahoma City Thunder, try to beat them up like they stole something, dunking on them, posting them up, shooting jump shots, threes, doing whatever he wanted when he wanted. He sent a message that he's coming for a lot of things, and another world championship is not the only thing. He's coming for his 5th league MVP.
There's some possible explanations for the Thunder coming out flat. They had an extended All-Star break, trying to work Russell Westbrook back into the lineup. You buying any of that?
Yeah, I'm buying it because I know Russell Westbrook can play better, and I know there were shots that he missed that he normally makes. And if he had played since Christmas, I think you would have seen a different game from him offensively. He was clearly a bit rusty. I'll give him a pass. The rest of those guys, not so much because they've been playing. They had a little break. Maybe they were sitting there and hanging a little bit too much in their days off instead of preparing for this game. But they still need to be professional and be accountable. I don't think they were tonight. They were playing one-on-one basketball. They weren't running the offense that Scott Brooks put out there. They seemed a bit discombobulated, but the person who has no excuse is Kevin Durant. Not just because of the way he's playing, not just because he's an MVP candidate, not just because he's as lethal as he is, but also he didn't have a break. He played during All-Star break. Last time I checked, he dropped 38 points. Didn't seem rusty at all. Wasn't rusty Sunday, wasn't rusty last week, wasn't rusty last month. Why are you rusty tonight against LeBron James and the Miami Heat?
Taking it back to the East now, Miami's been closing the gap on Indiana, and it looked like for a while the Pacers had that #1 seed locked away. Now Indiana goes out, they acquire Evan Turner from Philadelphia, Lavoy Allen as well. How do you think that could impact the race?
Well, I think that can impact it very positively for Indiana because Evan Turner can play basketball. He's only shoot 42% from the field, no doubt about that, but he is averaging 17 again. He can provide some punch offensively, and we know that's one of the Achilles heel of the Indiana Pacers. They have everything else. They defend better than anybody else. They rebound, not to mention they've got a superstar in Paul George. I think adding Evan Turner helps them immensely. And remember, Danny Granger is going to be an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season. They didn't want him to walk away for no compensation whatsoever. So to get somebody the quality of it, Evan Turner, definitely helps Indiana.
Sounds like you're ready for the stretch run.
Oh, I'm always ready. I'm always ready. It's my time of year, baby.
It's going to be fun.
Yes, sir.
So LeBron James tweeted out this picture Thursday night. I think he's okay. He's having fun with it. This was on Instagram. He said he might just have to go as Bane James. You remember Bane from the last Batman movie? Heat take on the Bulls Sunday. James also included the hashtag Strive for Greatness with the picture.
So now we know what happens when you count LeBron James out of the MVP race in February. Before the game was 5 minutes old, James had already scored 14 points before Kevin Durant had even hoisted a shot. James was a demon on defense, bullied Durant in the post, and did everything but steal Kevin's lunch money.
They did what very few can do, is impact and set the tone on both sides of the floor. He's an absolute true throwback in terms of being a two-way player.
Oh, it was flawless. You know, he came out, I think he scored with the first 10 or 14. There you go. So of the game, he was aggressive. You know, defensively, he was able to play past the lanes and, you know, and be who he is.
LeBron James and Dwayne Wade had some tough shots one-on-one over some good defense. And, you know, when guys like that hitting jump shots, it's tough to guard them.
With all this rhetoric going back and forth about not only the teams but the individual matchups, you could tell both guys are ready to play. But LeBron, he really set the tone and came out and put his print on the game early.
Did the MVP race get any closer tonight?
I think so. Why not? Just make it fun.
Oh, it's not decided, so I don't think it's, you know, it was a message. That's LeBron James being LeBron James. You know, he loves the matchup, you know, just like KD loves the matchup. But no, the MVP race is long ways off from over.
James elected not to address the media postgame. He sat at his locker with a towel over his head. You could see tubes of spiral gauze up both of his nostrils. Eric Spoelstra declined to say whether he had taken x-rays or the extent of his injury, only that James would be reevaluated when the Heat returned to Miami after this 6-game road trip. In Oklahoma City, Mark Schwartz, ESPN.
So, you know, that's reporting. Mark Schwartz all up in his nostrils.
That's right.
Now, if the MVP were decided on what have you done for me lately, a 4-game sample, you would literally have to give it to both LeBron James and Kevin Durant. They'd have to split it, you know, like they do in football sometimes.
Why not?
Over each of their last 4 games, they're both averaging exactly 37 points and 5.3 assists. The rebounding almost identical too, 10.0 for Durant, 9.5 for James.
That game.
More from Heat and Thunder at number 3. LeBron James drives, gets smacked across his nose by Serge Ibaka. And see, that happened right there, but he was still able to finish and throw it down. And as you can see, he was a bloody mess afterwards, but he got